Can you remember the day that you were diagnosed with diabetes? Do you remember how you felt? What emotions you had? Um, what weighed on you from that diagnosis? Do you remember that? Most of us do. Hi, I'm Donna, the Dynamic Diabetic, and today I want to talk to you about my first strategy in lowering your A1C. That first strategy is getting rid of the depression, because that's what happens to most people when they are diagnosed with diabetes. They are overcome with what that means for them. They're afraid, they're a little overwhelmed, they feel guilty sometimes, they feel shame, they don't know what to feel. It's pretty awful in the beginning, but because of all those emotions that people take on to themselves with this disease, depression has become a common circumstance for people diagnosed with diabetes or even pre-diabetes. That depression just grows and the shame grows. Does any of that sound like you? I bet it does, because I think most of us had all those emotions in the first few weeks after having that diagnosis. I had one friend who went to the doctor. She went for a regular checkup. She had it all done, blood work, everything. And the doctor came back in and he said, "Oh my, you have diabetes." Handed her a prescription for metformin and said, "I'll see you in 6 months." That was it. For most of us, that is it. There is not enough information, empathy, education, anything to go with this diagnosis. It's just kind of like, boom, there you go. So if you're a pre-diabetic or a diabetic and you're struggling with this, my objective is to help you to overcome that fear and worry and shame. Guys, there are plenty of wonderful recipes out there for good, healthy food that you can eat and enjoy. If you want to get control and get rid of the worry that goes with diabetes and not have any complications in your future, you can do that. There is no question. You can get control. And that's what you want to do. You want to work towards having control of that A1C, having control of your emotions as well, because the stress of your emotions only makes it worse. So I want you to relax a little bit. You got this. You do. You should not blame yourself for this disease, okay? It is a disease. Guys, it might be in your family history. It might be in your DNA. It might have been brought on by other health issues that you have. You could be the victim of major stress and unhappiness in your job, in your family, in your life. Stress is an enormous contributor to this disease. Could you have eaten better? Well, probably. Yeah. Could you have made some better choices along the way? Yeah, probably. But you did not cause this. It is not your fault. In another case, a friend of mine who is young, skinny, active, very health-minded, but he got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. There was no clear evidence of why that happened to him. And so if it could happen to him, he didn't cause that, right? Well, you didn't either, okay? He struggled with that a lot, just like we struggle, but even more because he could not see any reason. He could not see the evidence of why. So I don't want you to think that you ate your way to diabetes, you sat on the couch too long and got diabetes. It's not like that. In all probability, you might have contributed, but you did not cause this disease, because it is a disease, guys. Another thing that has greatly affected us is our food. Our food has changed. After World War II, the farming industry started to manipulate our food, crossbreed things, change things up, right? So my favorite analogy for that is an apple. We used to be told to eat an apple, and the apple was about this big. Now we're told to eat an apple still, but the apple is this big and it's been manipulated to be twice as sweet. So we're not eating the same foods that may account for a whole lot of what's happening as far as the growth of diabetes in our country and in the world. Another thing is that not only the Apple effect, but the diet effect. Okay, the diet industry decided they were going to help us, right? They were going to take all the fat out of our food and make either non-fat, low-fat foods. What they didn't tell us in taking that terrible fat away, which now they don't think is so bad, by the way, but they took the fat out, but they put a bunch of other stuff in. And they didn't explain to us that the other stuff they put in made it taste better, made it sweeter, made us want it even more. So our diet colas, diet drinks, they're making us want more sweet. They're not helping us diet. They're not a diet drink. They're a road to diabetes is what they are. So even though we tried to do things to help ourselves and get healthy and to be active in getting our health back in control, it's not working the same way because it's not the same food. So all of this stuff has played a part in you having diabetes. So for you to be ashamed, for you to feel like there is a sign on your forehead that says bad choices or I'm stupid or it's my fault, you're just wrong. There is not, okay? People made us feel like it's our fault. And yes, I agree, we've made some bad choices. I know I made some bad choices, but that is not what it is. Forget the stigma, what you think is out there, what you think people are saying, what you think people think. Don't even worry about it. Another thing I'd love to talk about is we would not worry so much about what other people think about us if we knew how seldom they do. They're not thinking about us. They're thinking about themselves, and we worry ourselves to death. Please don't do that. We have to accept the fact that we have a disease. We have diabetes. There's no fear or shame in that. We need to just take control. We need to do the actions that will allow us to control this disease. Blaming ourselves is ridiculous. Worrying about what the future holds, that's not a wise move either, because stress is one of the worst things, right? It's not good for anyone, but especially not for diabetics. So how your mind deals with this disease will make all the difference in how it develops and how it grows. Positive attitudes and expectations will empower you to succeed in bringing this under control. Hold your head up, guys. Stand tall. You have a disease, but it's a disease you can conquer. It's not a death sentence. It's not a penalty. You can get control of this. Tonight, I want you to think about what I've said, whatever day you read this or listen to this, and decide that you are not going to be defeated by diabetes. You're not going to allow yourself to be depressed. No more doom and gloom. It's not the end of the world. No more, I can't do this, it's too hard. No more stinking thinking. That's not allowed. You've got this. You can totally do it. Believing that you can do it, that's the first strategy. I'm Donna Denson, the Dynamic Diabetic. Thank you for being here today. I hope you got something here that will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned for strategy number 2. And may God bless and keep you until we connect again. Oh, and be sure and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Thank you. Goodbye for now.